welcome Sagittarius to March 2025. Dun, dun, dun. Holy moly. Probably one of the most exciting times in our simulation this year. We've got the Venus retrograde we're going to talk about in Aries. We're going to talk about March 16th to April 8th when Mercury goes retrograde as well. We're also going to talk about the two eclipses this month on March 14th, full moon, and March 29th, new moon. And solar eclipses are always a special time, chapter resets as well. So, all right, Sagittarius. So this month, of March, you're mostly on this 410 line, which is the fourth house of home and family and your ancestors and your roots and working from home, working on real estate, maybe anything like that with the home and family. And then the 10th house of your career, your fame, your recognition, how you make your mark in the world, being kind of a little bit more famous with people, sort of. So it'll be an interesting time. And we're going to dive deeper into all those things. But I first want to talk about this Venus retrograde because it is a little rare. And it means Venus is going backwards. Well, it doesn't really go backwards. As you know, Sag, it's just an optical illusion. But this is, the planet of love and money going retrograde, which is sort of a cosmic love reset. More of like the love of what we desire in life. That's changing for everyone. Okay, so, there's a reflection time. It's that whole retrograde word with the R-E, like reflect, redo, reanalyze, so that we don't have regret. So, for you, Sagittarius, this Venus in Aries is in your fifth house of creativity, of romance, and of your kids. So you're reflecting, it's okay. So there's a lot of things that can happen. Remember, it's what we desire is now changing, and we're reflecting on that. And one of the things is because all this stuff is in Pisces, as you can see here. I woke up this morning on the new moon, and there's so much stuff in Pisces here, right? And I woke up feeling kind of damp, like it's too humid in the air and all this. It's funny. But anyways, this is a time, Pisces is sort of the end of the line until Aries season begins. And Pisces is like an ending, and you're getting rid of the last toxins, the last thing, until you start fresh, for spring, for Aries season. That's kind of the vibe. So during this month of March, we're going to be rethinking what we desired. So you may have had dreams that didn't come true, and that's okay. They should have come true by now. And if they haven't, well, that means it's time to reflect during Venus retrograde on your new desires and maybe a new plan of action. It's not a good idea to take action, though, Sag, in this time, because there's two retrograde planets. There's Venus and Mercury. So it's a reflection time, not an action time, but it's definitely a reevaluation time. And it's like looking at your past love life, too. I'm not surprised, Sagittarius, if past lovers come into your scene on March, in March, I should say. They might text you or give you a Facebook or I don't know, whatever, like it could be these old lovers. But it is this stuff about the past. Anything that does come up, it just means it's time to let go and move on. It's not coming up so that you can rekindle a relationship that you had in the past. It's not coming up so you can do it. It's to show you some kind of lesson, some kind of data, and then you're able to let it go and move on, okay, for Aries season. Because it is in your fifth house, so I'm not surprised if it's going to be these romances, okay? Fifth house is the romance before we get married, the courtship. But the fifth house is also about our kids, so your kids' desires may have changed, or what you wanted for your kids' life has changed into this new desired thing. So it's good to reflect and journal about it and dream about it and talk about it. Get all this out into the open, and then we can deal with it, reflect on it, and we can move on, right? That's basically it there. And also the fifth house talks about maybe it's sort of time to get back into some kind of sport or hobby or creative thing that you used to be in, or maybe Venus is saying, oh, you don't like painting anymore, but maybe, you like guitar now, and it's time, you know what I mean? So you're really reflecting on those desires and things when it comes to creations, your children, and the romance part. So that's interesting. It's also about entrepreneurship And because this is a time of letting go of dreams that weren't fulfilled or weren't manifested, it could have been like, I really wanted to start my own business, but it didn't work out, or it's not working out, and you got to give it up, and maybe it's the business you were trying to start isn't the right market, or maybe it's not the right timing. I don't know. There could be so many things with your chart. And come see me for a reading, though, if that sounds like you, because Venus retrograde asks us not to jump into the next grass is greener on the other side, okay? It's about reflecting on how we can work on our own grass for the next cycle, Aries cycle, new beginnings, new fresh energy, and letting it go, letting go of loss, letting go of, I had these dreams, I had these desires, but now they've changed, and I'm going to let that go so I can start my new chapter. So I hope that helps, Sagittarius, because by the end of this retrograde, which is until April 12th, so from March 1st to April 12th, Venus retrograde, by the end of this retrograde, Sag, you're going to have a much clearer vision of what does fulfill you. All right, so that's exciting. Now, let's move on. Oh, by the way, Sag, comment below. Have you been feeling some weird past energy creep in? Like maybe it is old lovers. Maybe it is something about the entrepreneurship or the business or something like that. Any old energy that you're sort of like, it's a little unsettling and it's sad that you have to let it go. The dream that you once had about this certain thing just hasn't come to fruition, and it's not going to if it hasn't by now, Sag. So it's time to let it go and move on to the next thing. A new desire, so let me know in the comments. Okay, let's move on. I know I talked long about Venus retrograde, but I feel like it's really important that everybody know, because Mercury is also retrograde, as we can see here, March 16th till April 8th. And so it's kind of the same deal in your 5th house. It's just this reflection of communications. It's like, with Mercury, though, it's of the mind and talking. So it's almost like the 5th house can rule your kids or your grandkids. So it's like, maybe your communications aren't as good, the words aren't right, or something like that, the communication. So just know that there could be delays too in those kind of 5th house aspects, which is the kids, the creations. Maybe you've been like getting writer's block because it's creativity. You might be trying to write this book or this music score or something, poem or whatever, or maybe painting, and it's like, all this delay, it's not coming to me, it's not flowing. And that's okay, sometimes it's just like, let's let it go for a while and come back to it, set it and forget it, and go do something else that's fun, because the 5th house is the fun house, don't forget. So have fun in there. Okay, let's move on. Then we get into the true nitty-gritty of March, which is eclipse season. This is when things go crazy around the world, but ignore the world, okay? Ignore the world. Work on your family, your loves, your desires, this soul that you have in this little meat suit. Work on that, Sag, because it is going to get crazy. It's volatile markets here starting in March. Everything's crazy with eclipse season when it comes to cryptocurrency and real estate investments and all the stock market and all these things. I know it's going to be crazy, especially with all this weird stuff in Pisces. Like, look at how much Pisces is underwater, and everything's foggy underwater. And it's like we have these illusions and these dreams and these fantasies about our lives that don't come true because we have the rose-colored glasses on from Neptune. And oh my God, it goes on and on with this whole Pisces. Pisces is wonderful for spirituality and for feeling compassion and empathy for others and doing great things for others. Yes, Pisces is wonderful and very intuitive, trusting your gut. But when it comes to realistic events in this 3D world, Pisces can cover that, right? That watery stuff can cover the realistic. So stay real, Sag. Stay real during this time, because the full moon, March 14th, is a lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. That feeling of service to others, it runs like the nurses and the hospitals and the caretaking, especially in a medical environment. So I know like something medical will probably be illuminated under this full moon, something medical wise. Who knows what that is? Okay. I have an idea about what that is, but I'm not allowed to talk about it on YouTube. So I'm going to... and remember, these forecasts are for entertainment purposes only. All right, so let's move on to what this full moon is doing for you, Sag. it's ending in something or a culmination of energy, or finally you've made a decision on your career. 10th house of career, fame, recognition. Now, if you have a career, this is this time where you're really like having this illumination of, do I want to stay in this career? Is this the career for me? And you've spent, some of March already thinking about it with Venus in retrograde. You've been thinking about that. What's the right thing to do here when it comes to my career? And then, everything's happening so fast on that full moon. There's, it's called the storm moon for a reason, Sag. I think this full moon is going to be crazy. It's a lunar eclipse, fast money changes, and there's going to be a lot of action around you, Sag. So I just don't want you to let that affect your decision about your career, okay? So, it's totally up to you what you do there. But it is on the home line too. It's almost like some of you may be wanting to work from home more and spend more time with the family, or something happens within your family where you need a job that's online, right? A more flexible job, especially if you work in Medicare, nursing, things like that. You might be looking at being a traveling nurse, or being a remote from home nurse or practitioner or doctor or whatever, like more of the sort of healthcare that's more flexible for you to be able to do the home things, the real estate things that you need to do. Some of you may be moving because of your career, okay? Like this is a big start into a new direction with your career, and even a new place to live because of the career, the job. Now, if you don't have a career because you're retired and you've been there, done that, well, this is sort of this, well, how do I make a mark in this world, right? How can I make an impact? Because the 10th house is the top of the chart, looking at everybody. It's more like famous. It's like people are looking at you for some kind of leadership, okay, Sag? So keep that in mind in the back, that someone's looking at you for some kind of leadership. So you're helping guide people in some way too. So take that with you in your travels, Sag. Okay. Next, we get March 29th, the new moon. This is the big new moon, solar eclipse. And remember, these eclipses, the energy lasts for a really, really, really long time, like months and months. It's not like this day, March 29th, only this happens and it's gone. No. It lingers and it dissipates, just like a ripple. Like, when you throw a rock, you skip rocks in the lake, and then the ripple out, like it's like that. It like ripples through time. So this new moon, new beginning, very new beginning. It's a solar eclipse. It's in Aries, and Aries is the beginning of the zodiac too, because everything is very this new energy. But it's on the 29th, and 29 in numerology equals 11. 2 plus 9 equals 11. This is a very spiritual number, yes, but it's a very emotional number. So I know that this new moon is going to cause a lot of excess emotions. Aries is very go. And we've just come out of this Pisces hypnosis with all those planets. And now we're starting to move some of them into Aries. Lots of changes in Aries, the fiery go planet. Let's go, let's rock, let's be reckless too. There's a little bit of recklessness too. So for you, that new moon in Aries is in your 5th house, which is actually a nice house to be in. It's one of the more luckier houses. It's that creative house we were talking about with the kids. Maybe there's something new with your kids, maybe some new sports you could focus on for them, activity. Then there's like maybe you've reflected on the business and you want to have that home business, but you got to change things, and you've reflected during March, Venus retrograde, all that stuff. Now you're ready to like maybe take some action now. Although I wouldn't take complete action on anything until after April 12th, because that's when Venus gets out of retrograde. Mercury's out of retrograde on April 8th, but just wait until after the 12th, folks. And this is for everybody. Wait until after the 12th to really do a real big action, especially if it's a big thing. By the way, I forgot to tell you, Sagittarius, Venus retrograde, March 1st to April 12th. Don't get any drastic surgery done. Venus runs the beauty, and it's in retrograde. It's not, and that means you do have to redo it. For example, if you got Botox, you'd probably have to redo it, or something goes wrong, or you want to get your whole hair done. It wants to be blonde. You want to be blonde, but then it turns all orange. Okay, because Aries wants to be reckless and take charge, and Venus is in Aries, but it's retrograde, and it's saying Aries and Venus are fighting. Okay, Venus is saying, Aries, slow your roll. In retrograde, we're thinking about what we desire now, and is this hairstyle even a good idea? Okay, and Aries is like, let's just try it. Let's go. What are we waiting for? Why is everybody sitting around so much? That's the energy of Aries. Don't like to sit around. So just saying, don't get any beauty. Don't take out all your crypto and spend all your money either, because Venus runs money. Don't do anything drastic here during Venus retrograde is my main point. Okay, Sag? Okay, so that new moon is really, that new moon, March 29th, in Aries, solar eclipse for you, is this new stuff. It can be a new romance in the 5th house. It could be new stuff for your kids in the 5th house. It could be a pregnancy announcement from someone. It could be a new grandkid on the way. It can be new hobbies, new creative hobbies, maybe that you haven't done before. Maybe you didn't realize you were such a good bowler, and you went out one night with the girls or whatever, and you're like, holy crap, I'm actually really good at bowling. I'm going to take this up as a sport. I'm just saying stuff, Sag, but these are these things where you're going to be trying new things in the 5th house, which is the fun house. It's creative, it's fun. And for some of you Sagittarians, this might be a great week for you to gamble a little bit of games of chance with that 5th house activation. There's luck there, there's gambling. I wouldn't suggest spending a bunch of money either, right? Okay, just a little bit here and there. You might feel like the pull to sports bet, or to buy a scratch and win, or to enter the 649, buy a lotto ticket or whatever. But you could be lucky. There's some luck there in the 5th house for sure in games of chance. All right, Sagittarius, I hope you're enjoying your reading so far. Let me know in the comments. All right, let's pull one of our cards. These are our decks, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand, the blue, and then I'm also going to pull a card from the Power of 8 Chakra Oracle, the pink. Okay, so let's see, starting with the blue Lenormand. They do come as a set, by the way, on my website, www.themoontree.org, if you are interested. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what's happening for March. We've got some worry here in March. I'm not surprised. We've got things in retrograde. We've got things with the full moon, the new moon, eclipses. I think everybody's feeling a little anxious, let's face it, right? And that with the worry. What else for Sag? It could be worry about the man in your life, or the man in your life is worried. Okay, so it does have to do quite a bit with a man in your life. Could be romantic, could be family, could be friend. Who knows what kind of man? But there's worry there. Either you're worried about him, or he's worried about something. And it looks like the corporation card here, the authority card. This could be like you're worried about him in the hospital. This could be like he's worried about his job and what his boss is going to say. It could be a government. The tax man is often this. It could be the man's really worried about the taxes this year. So there is worry that we need to reflect on, and we need to, Sagittarius, think about that. This could be worry about real estate too, because you are in the real estate line, the 4th house of home and family and all that. In real estate, so it could be that Sagittarius worry surrounding the man, and it has something to do with real estate. That could be a thing too. Could be like your dad, he's getting really old, and you're worried about his mind, or he's starting to show Alzheimer's and dementia, and you either got to put him in a home, or you have to move in with him, or he moves in with you to take care of him, something like that, right? You see that? How it could be a lot of things depending on your life. So let's see, what kind of chakra card? Let's pull from the pink for some help for Sagittarius. I belong. Oh, purple crown chakra. Getting yourself belonging. And we were talking about that 5th house, about the creativity. These are also like little groups of people who do things with you, like wine and paint night, or a sport, or you get together and do Zumba in the pool, the swimming pool together, or you're in some kind of yoga class together. But this is called I belong. All right, so finding a network of people, that a special little team for you to help you out too, and not to do this alone. because it's important that you're not feeling like a lone wolf, Sagittarius, through all this. I belong. Get out your amethyst. That can help too. And your lepidolite, which is a little bit of this substance in this rock that it's a purple rock. Lepidolite, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it has a little bit of lithium, I think, in it. And if you rub it on your skin a little, it just helps to calm. So lepidolite could be very good to relieve the anxiety. And so I belong. Okay, that's good. Now let's pull a tarot card. These are not our cards. We haven't made our tarot deck yet. These are called the Learning Tarot cards, Sagittarius, and they're fun because they have everything on one card. You got your chakra on it, you got your planets on it, you've got your numbers on it, you've got your words on it, and you've got your picture on it. Like, it's really, really cool. I love this deck for everything all on one. Okay, it's really good when I'm doing online readings too, and I need to do fast readings for people, and everything's all on one card. I just love that. All right, so let's knock 3 times. What can we know for Sagittarius in March, Spirit? What are the messages that we could know? Oh, this is wonderful. Remember I told you that you're on the 4-10 line, the home and family 4, career 10. You're on that line for March. Well, look at this card, the 10 of Cups. So the cups runneth over. This is a family card too. And it is run by Mars, okay? And maybe I should look at Mars in your chart because Mars recently went direct again. And I'm like, phew, thank God. I was getting too, can't do anything. It just feels so slow. I'm bored in this simulation a little bit, And now that Mars started moving again, it's been more exciting. But for you, Sagittarius, Mars, let me just find Mars for you. Oh yeah, Mars in Cancer, Sag, in your 8th house of joint ventures with your husband or wife, and it is also your other money and moving in more energy and managing your debt and your future and transforming. And so there is some energy here, and Pisces is in there too, and that's your 4th house of home and family right now. Pisces is running your 4th house of home and family, so that looks cool. We do see the family is having a nice time under the cups, and it's the 10, and 10s are the end of the movie. The chapter rolls, and then it's time for the new beginning, like I said, in Aries. So this is a chapter wrap up for you, Sag, indeed. But there's happy families. There's reunions here, I wouldn't be surprised during the retrograde until April 12th, you get these people from the past. I call it blasts from the past. And during Mercury retrograde too. You're going to get these blasts from the past and feeling more harmony, working on domestic bliss with your family and caring for the children. There's a lot of children involved in this card too. And I told you 5th house. And we were talking a lot about that 5th house of children and grandchildren. I'm telling you, Sag, somebody in the family might be pregnant and getting ready to tell you maybe around March 14th, the full moon, when everything gets illuminated. So watch for that. Should be interesting. Let me know too in the comments if you do, in April, come back here. If you can remember, come back here in April and say, I did find out someone was pregnant. We did have a pregnancy announcement. I don't know. I just love to hear from you guys, what's going on in your lives, because that's fun. Because that's what this is for. This is to help you, navigate life's energies and try to make, this soul journey fun and good and all sorts of stuff. Okay, now, if you liked that, well, you might want to come see me for a reading. I'm Trina from www.themoontree.org. All right, Sagittarius, thank you for joining me today. I noticed that this is kind of a longer video than the others. I guess I had lots to tell you. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.